This is the solution video for section 4.1, problem number 3. So the directions for 3 through 5 say find the critical numbers of f, then use the critical number test to determine the absolute extreme values of f. All right, so number 3 says f of x equals 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 7. So critical numbers. Remember, critical numbers are locations, x values, where the derivative of f is either equal to 0 or undefined. All right, so first step is find the derivative. All right, so f prime of x. All right, so 2x cubed, so that's going to be 6x squared, minus derivative of 3x squared, 6x minus 12, right? And so what we want to do is we want to determine where this thing, 6x squared minus 6x minus 12 equals 0, or undefined. But 6x squared minus 6x minus 12 is never undefined, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, and so first thing I'm going to do to solve this is I'm going to factor out a 6. So I get x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. So I divide by 6, so then I have x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0, so I'm going to factor. All right, so I factor into x minus 2, x plus 1 equals 0, and so x equals 2 or x equals negative 1. All right, so now, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure, okay, are those actually on the interval? So are 2 and negative 1 in between 0 and 4? Well, the answer is no, negative 1 is not. All right, so x equals 2 is between 0 and 4. All right, now, don't forget about endpoints. All right, that's a lot of times what people forget. Endpoints, right? That is where the derivative is undefined. So remind yourself of that. So what are the critical numbers? A lot of times I just refer to them as CNs. All right, so they are x equals 0, x equals 2, and x equals 4. All right, so now what we want to do for the critical number test, all right, so we found the critical numbers. Now, critical number test is to evaluate f of the critical numbers. So f of 0, f of 2, and then f of 4. All right, so, all right, f of 0. 2 times 0 cubed minus 3 times 0 squared minus 12 times 0 plus 7. All right, so this one's really easy. 0 minus 0 minus 0 plus 7, so that is 7. All right, so then we evaluate f of 2. All right, so what is f of 2? All right, so 2 times 2 cubed minus 3 times 2 squared minus 12 times 2 plus 7. All right, so 2 times 2 cubed. So 2 cubed is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Minus 3 times 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So 16 minus 12. Minus 12 times 2, 24. Plus 7. All right, so 16 minus 12 is 4. 4 minus 24 is negative 20. Plus 7 is negative 13. All right, and then lastly, f of 4. All right, so 2 times 4 cubed minus 3 times 4 squared minus 12 times 4 plus 7. Now, sometimes the numbers here get a little annoying, but you still should be able to deal with them. All right, so 4 cubed, right? 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64 times 2 is 128 minus 3 times 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16 times 3 is 48 minus 12 times 4, that is 48 plus 7. All right. So 128 minus 48 gives me 80. 80 minus 48 is 32 plus 7 is 39. All right, so now critical number test. Okay, remember, according to the extreme value theorem, is that critical numbers must occur at an endpoint or an interior critical number if the function is continuous on that interval. So it is, and so whatever one of these is the least, well, negative 13, that is the absolute minimum. And whichever one is the greatest is the absolute max. So it's important to be able to say that the absolute minimum is negative 13. Remember, you're giving the y value, and it occurs at x equals 2. 39 is the absolute max, and it occurs at x equals 4.